Hey there, welcome back to Legend Finance. Well, savvy savers and financial trailblazers, you've clicked on the right video. We know you've been pondering that weighty question, just how much should I be saving? Well, hold tight because we're about to unveil the secrets. Say goodbye to perplexing financial terms and wave hello to simple, understandable, and effective strategies. Regardless of your income or circumstances, you'll see that saving money can be a fun and rewarding journey. Saving for your dream car, a once-in-a-lifetime vacation, or a future filled with financial stability? Whatever your goal, we have the know-how to set you on the path to achieving it. The journey to a healthy savings account starts with understanding. And remember, every cent saved is a step towards your financial goals. Ready to stride ahead? Let's leap into the world of savings and see just how much you should be stashing away. Saving rate over time. In order to determine how much we should be saving, let's examine the data from the Federal Reserve. The average American savings rate is quite low, with most Americans not saving more than 10% of their yearly income, as it usually hovers around 3 to 6%. Interestingly, during the 2020 lockdowns, when discretionary spending was limited, the savings rate spiked to between 25% and 33.8%. This indicates that when the temptation to spend is reduced, people are capable of saving significantly more. Once normal life resumed, however, spending increased and savings decreased. This suggests that with consistent discipline, we could save at much higher rates. We also have some data on the savings habits of the top 10% and 1% of earners. Saving rates by income. The data indicates that the top 1% of earners save approximately 38% of their income, which is impressive but also makes sense as essential expenses make up a smaller percentage of their total income. The top 10% save around 15% of their income. The remaining 90% of the population, unfortunately, has a near-zero savings rate. Although it would be ideal to aim for a 38% savings rate, like the top 1%, this isn't feasible for everyone due to differences in income levels. As income decreases, necessities take up a larger percentage of income, making a 38% savings rate impossible. A more realistic aim would be to save 15 to 20% of every paycheck. However, the exact savings rate should be tailored to individual financial goals, income levels, and lifestyle expenses. Factors like current savings, anticipated lifelong expenses, and income levels determine financial independence. Thankfully, there are calculators available to assist in determining these factors. Handy tools. We've come across a straightforward calculator that's ideal for this purpose. By inputting some key details into this calculator, we can get an estimate of the number of years it might take us to achieve financial independence. I strongly recommend we all make use of tools like these. By manipulating the savings rates in these calculators, we can play around with various possible scenarios. Now, let's move on to the second part of our discussion. Here, we're going to determine, step by step, how much we should be saving, and we'll provide further advice to assist us in this process. How much should we save? Assuming a person earns $60,000 annually, that is $5,000 of gross income per month. Depending on the specific location and applicable tax laws, the net income after taxes can vary. For the purpose of this example, we'll estimate that the semi-monthly take-home pay is $1,941, which totals $3,882 of net income each month. This number is very important to note, as many people often refer to their income in terms of gross figures without considering taxes. Once we have the net income figure, the next step is to understand and estimate our monthly expenses. Using a hypothetical scenario, let's say our fixed expenses, rent, car payments, gas, and utilities, amount to $2,300 per month. These are non-negotiable recurring expenses that we need to cover each month. In addition to this, we have variable or discretionary expenses. These can include coffee, entertainment, gym membership, groceries, and eating out, which may fluctuate from month to month. For this example, let's consider these expenses to be around $1,200. Adding up the fixed and variable expenses, we have a total monthly expenditure of $3,500. When we subtract this from our net income of $3,882, we are left with a balance of $382. This balance represents the potential savings at the end of each month. Going through this exercise can provide a clearer understanding of your savings potential and guide you towards more effective financial planning. Your savings goal. Determining your savings goal is crucial to understanding how much of your paycheck you need to save. You might be saving for an emergency fund, paying off debt, or simply aiming for a certain figure in your bank account. For instance, if you're aiming to save $10,000 and you already have $1,000 saved, you'd need to save an additional $9,000. Assuming you're currently saving $382 per month, it would take you about 23.5 months, nearly 2 years, to save $9,000. If you want to reach this goal in half the time, you would need to double your savings rate to $750 per month. This could mean making adjustments to your budget and finding ways to increase your savings. So the big question now is, how can we increase our savings to reach our financial goals faster? How to actually save more? There are two main ways to increase your savings: reducing expenditures and increasing income. Let's focus on cost-cutting strategies. Take this person's budget as an example. They spend $600 a month eating out. To reduce this, they could meal prep, thus planning their meals for the week and avoiding eating out. Another way to save is by reducing the use of food delivery apps like DoorDash or Uber Eats. If dining out, consider avoiding or limiting alcohol consumption, as it often forms a significant part of the meal's cost. It is challenging to change fixed expenses. Focus on discretionary ones and decide which you can cut back on. But what if you're spending your entire paycheck? Let's explore that. What if we had no savings? Alright, so let's say you're in a tough spot where there's just no cash left at the end of the month. I totally get it. The first thing you've got to do is take a hard look at what you absolutely need to get by, the real must-haves. Once you've got that figured out, try to chop down everything else, all those extra bits that aren't really necessary. In the meantime, how about trying to grab a bit of extra cash? Maybe a side gig or a little hustle to bring in some more dough. The goal here is to scrape together an emergency fund so you're not sweating over every single paycheck. Aim to tuck away at least 3 months' worth of living expenses as quickly as you can. That way, if a paycheck goes missing, your life doesn't immediately go off the rails. Now, talking about debt, there's one little trick you've got to watch out for. A caution. Alright, here's something you've got to watch out for. Buy now, pay later schemes. It seems like everywhere you look these days, companies are offering you this option. It means you can get your hands on that shiny new gadget you've been eyeing with just a small payment up front, then pay the rest over time. Here's the deal though, these schemes can actually lead to people spending beyond their means. And no surprise here, these buy now, pay later companies often hit you with crazy high interest rates. Let's take a firm, for example. They raked in a whopping $1.35 billion in 2022. Almost 40% of their revenue came just from loan interest. Other companies like Afterpay and Klarna are playing the same game. If you're carrying credit card debt or buy now, pay later debt, you've got to prioritize paying off the debt with the highest interest rate first. Here's why. Let's say you owe someone at a 20% interest rate. If you pay that debt off, it's like you're making a guaranteed 20% return on your money. Not a lot of investments can give you a guaranteed return of 20%. Historically, the stock market might give you between 8 and 10% a year. So if someone came up to you offering a guaranteed 20% return, you'd be crazy not to take it. And that's essentially what you're getting when you're paying off high-interest debt. While we're talking about reducing debt, let's also look at how to boost your income. As we saw before, the top 1% can save 38% of their income because they have so much to start with. So how do you get your hands on more cash? Well, income usually comes from getting paid for the skills that you have. How do we make more? Okay, here's a fun idea. Whether you realize it or not, you've got some sort of skill or expertise that makes you stand out among your friends and family. Maybe you've dedicated a ton of time to a certain hobby, a sport, or learning to play an instrument. That's something you can use to your advantage. Let's say you're a tennis whiz. There are loads of ways you can use that to make some extra dough. Maybe you could offer one-on-one coaching for people who aren't quite as skilled as you are. Or perhaps you could start a kids' tennis camp or even a website that offers free tennis content and then sells online tennis programs. If you're a pro at stringing rackets, you can start a racket stringing business. The point is, it all starts with recognizing what you're good at. And if you think you're not good at anything, trust me, you are. Everyone is good at something. Now let's talk about how much money you should have saved in your bank account. It's a common question, and it's an important one. Savings by age. Your bank balance and net worth typically increase as you age. For those under 35, the median bank balance is $3,200, and their net worth is around $10,400. Between 35 and 44, the median bank balance grows to $4,700 and the net worth to $61,200. Your net worth is all your assets, like cash and real estate, minus any debts you have. So start saving and investing early to grow your financial future, keeping in mind that everyone's situation is unique. Net worth by age. Even if you don't meet the average net worth for your age bracket, it's okay, don't stress. It's not about where you are right now, but where you're headed. Stay positive and keep an eye on your future. Remember, everyone's financial journey is unique. If you're not where you'd like to be financially, it's never too late to start saving and investing more wisely. Keep improving your understanding of personal finance, and you'll get where you want to be in time. That's it for now, folks. Like, subscribe, and join the conversation in the comments. Share the love, and remember, this is Legend Finance. Until next time, stay legendary.